Welcome back to Media Mama TV for Info, Inspo, and Convo. I'm Alicia Cutting, and right now you're watching us via YouTube. And YouTube is something that we watch sometimes our TV shows on. And TV for some of us has become a little bit more important, if you will, during the time when we've been quarantined. So what are you all watching? Because I wasn't really a big TV watcher. I went without cable for like a long time. And then I just had it on as background when I got cable. So what are you all watching? What's good? What's new?
I've discovered the Goldbergs. It was a show on I guess it's still on, and didn't know that it even existed. And one of those, like, you make a mistake on Hulu and you click on it like, oh, I didn't mean that, and then you start watching it. It was like, oh my God, this is so fun. I can't stand it. This is so fun. So the Goldbergs is one of the things that I've discovered.
Did you tell us about it a little bit? I don't know.
Oh, like, yeah, it's like a family comedy. It's Adam Goldberg. He's like a writer, director, and it's kind of like, the reason I love it is because it's set in the 80s, which is like the best time to be alive. Yeah. And so there's all this crazy 80s reference, and there's two sons.
Fashion.
The kids are hysterical. The fashion,
mom's fashion in the 80s.
The music. It's just hysterical. It's feel good. It's nothing. It just is fun. I mean, if you need levity, that's a show.
You know what it kind of reminds me of in a way? It kind of, well, maybe not, but it kind of has like a vibe, like the Wonder Years-ish kind ofness.
Right.
And the guy who plays on King of the Hill, he actually, it's like as if it's him when he was younger. And he's kind of telling his life. So he's like narrating it as if it was him. And it's the Goldberg. So it's like, imagine like kind of like Blackish. And then what was the other show with the Asian family and
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, forget it. But anyway.
Off
the boat.
Off the boat. Okay.
So like as far as programming, sometimes like you'll see it like it'll come on before Blackish. And like, like those kind of type of shows, but really funny. Absolutely. I've seen some episodes.
It's hysterical. Funny. It makes me laugh out loud regularly.
Yeah.
And I've also been watching a lot of paranormal movies.
What's that about? I can't.
I've always loved it. The first movie my mother took us to see, I was 10 years old. It was The Omen. That was my first movie.
Were you scarred?
About it. I don't even want to talk about it.
Like, were you like scarred as a child? Like, did it like kind of freak you out mentally?
Oh. No, not at all. It just engendered this love of like paranormal stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really. It's not like I would go on a ghost hunt or anything like that. I'm not willing to mess with the other side. Yeah. But I really enjoy watching it. And then when I need some levity, I turn on the Goldbergs. Like when it starts to get dark outside, the Goldbergs come on. So it's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of good television. There's so much content. It's insane.
There really is. There's no shortage of stuff to watch. And it's like every week there's something new that comes out.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm loving Married at First Sight, which is you too, Alicia?
It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like I feel like connected to all of these people, and I don't know why. But the show, there's therapists on there, and I mean it's entertaining. It's a window into someone else's life.
Give a quick summary overview. People have not heard of the show before.
So Married at First Sight. They travel to different cities. So every season is a different city. And people who are single can sign up to be married without ever meeting the person you're going to marry until your wedding. You're at the altar.
Wow.
So you're matched by experts. So you're matched by experts who take a whole bunch of different tests and like interviews and yada yada yada. And you're matched with your ideal match. And so the idea is the missing component is physical attraction, chemistry, and just that sort of like it factor that you can't really explain, that causes you to be attracted to someone. So, and then you watch these couples, there's usually like 4 or 5 couples, and then you watch them for, I think it's 8 weeks.
8 weeks. And at the end of the 8 weeks, because it is a legally binding marriage, at the end of the 8 weeks, as we're watching them in the entirety of everything, if they feel like it's just not,
Yeah, you can make a decision at the end of the 8 weeks if you want to stay together or not. But the experts are throughout the process helping them, giving them support, therapy, helping them through different things. So it's really interesting. The therapy aspect's interesting. You can take pieces of it and add it to your own life.
Right.
But it's an interesting concept because a lot of marriages, people are out there choosing their partner by themselves and they don't work out. So
yeah, I wonder
do
what
those work out?
I wonder what
they do. A lot of them have years later. I think there's even a couple of spin-off shows. I think
there are multiple spin-off shows.
Okay.
There's the couples cam.
lives.
Told you, you saw my finger go up earlier.
And it's the spin-offs are they're married with kids and how many years later, right?
Yeah. And a matter of fact, I guess statistically speaking, the percent that actually over the course of the entire experiment, as they call it, the proportion of success rates that are still together years later is technically higher than the national norm. So it's hey, and FYI,
that makes sense.
And FYI, the next casting is actually in Boston. So I digress.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be eating lobster?
Wait, are we sending Gina there? What?
I need them to come to Pittsburgh.
Well, because you're a sapios, you said the sapiosexual. I was like, this could be a good thing for Gina, all the stuff in your head and all the. This could be, girl. We got to get them to go to Pittsburgh.
It could work. It could work or not.
Well,
I just threw you under the bus. Sorry.
It's like a raving maniac and be like, what the frank happened here?
But Dana, okay, guess what though? So among the other shows that are married with, Married at First Sight, there's Married at First Sight Australia, but there's also a show because, they've really gone and milked this whole experiment. The whole production is milked to the nth degree, but there's actually now a show that's going to be coming out that is all people who were not but many people who were not matched up. So now we'll be chronicling people who applied for the show.
Or something people who were hard to match or something. I think I saw that. I saw it.
I should call it the leftovers. What?
Listen, if you saw some of the stories, you would know why. Okay.
Paired.
Are they matching them up with people? Are they trying to fix whatever they were trying?
I think there is an element of I have not seen the show and I'm trying not to get sucked down into the rabbit hole because I got real other stuff I got to do in my life. But I think that I've seen some of the previews of the preview episodes where one lady, I guess she had never really kissed before. She never had kissed anyone before. So
well, how old was she?
Her throat. She's grown. She's 30 something, whatever. But anyway, no judgment. But saying taking her through some how to kiss and stuff like that.
But it's interesting. I know there were couples where one of the couples were a virgin and they would marry them. It's just, it's just interesting. You know what I mean? That's great if your partner knows you're a virgin. Do you know what I mean? How do you marry someone? I feel like that's something you need to go into aware of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But anyway, so it's a great show. And then I'm also enjoying watching old shows like Living Single. Just older shows that I enjoyed back in the day. I'm liking going back and rewatching them. So
I love Living Single.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah, you got this.
Now, right? Single. Go ahead, Alicia. In the 90s kind of world, I'm glad I got my girl. Keep your head up. That's right.
Okay. Listen, y'all know we could do this forever because we're all happy dancers and fun people here. Alika, what are you watching? Because you did the previous episode.
I'm gonna tell something on the show that I don't think any but my mama knows. That back in the day, I was so into TV jingles of all. You name a show, I know the Addams Family, all of them. That I went to the library and I checked out this 4 CD set. Each one had 25 different songs from famous shows. This is in the 90s, so anything from the 50s up. And I learned them all. I won't even sing them all. But so that's all. You just brought me back memories to I was a real nerd. But TV jingles. So go ahead. Yeah.
It's exactly where you are right now because you're performing acting and it's you pulled from that anyway. So
TV shows have jingles. Have you noticed that? Like the
yes. And then they cut off the credits. So this is one of the things so during the pandemic, to answer your question, I really discovered, y'all know I didn't really have a TV much, but I really discovered like Netflix and Amazon and all that. And it really angers me because what Netflix does, right? If you want to see the next episode, which because I'm so behind, I'll watch a bunch, and they cut off the credits and just start the next episode. And I actually like seeing who was the makeup artist, who was the DLP, who was the lighting,
Who's the gaffer?
Notice now in movies too, when you watch a movie on network TV, they speed up all the credits, and I'm like, wait, I want to see them. Slow down.
Yeah.
No.
That's a pet peeve I have, because
they do that.
They do that, and all those people matter. It's not just about us actors. All of those people, they deserve. I want to see.
They deserve their credit. Period.
That's it.
I want to know who was the caterer. I want to know who was craft services.
Thank you.
I want to know. Yeah. I want to know where are the locations. I want to know the sound.
Yes.
And I was a person like you, Alika. Even when I would go to the movies, I'm that person who I sit through all the credits.
So do I.
Even before I got into like more of, acting, performing, I waited for all the credits. And it wasn't just because of the surprise pop-up that would come afterwards sometimes, but I loved reading the credits and who was the writer on that song and who, so I'm right there with you. But you said in the previous episode, we know that you kind of you went for a long time without a TV. So what are you like watching now? Like,
yeah, my TV goes in waves, but since COVID started, we went from either 0 or 1 TV to 3 now. So there you go. And what I really love is Australian and British shows. And I now subscribe to Acorn TV and BritBox, and also Nigerian TV shows, because there's some really beautiful shows that come out of, why am I going blank on the capital of Nigeria? Somebody tell me. I'm like, just had a moment. Lagos?
No, Lagos. Is it Lagos?
Yeah, there's a lot of wealth. There's a lot of billionaires. And so they have these shows that are like, that are like,
check out the weddings.
They have these shows that are like Friends, but it's like Nigerian women or something. I fall in love with those. And then all the BBC shows, all the Australian cop shows. And I realized it's because nothing new was filming in the US. So I just started watching all the like UK, British, Australian versions of like, ER type shows and Law and Order type shows. So now I know all these Australian actors that I have like mad respect for.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Millie, what you watching?
What am I watching? A lot of
anything.
A lot of novelas. What can I say? Sorry, honey. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you guys know that I'm and Colombian, so therefore I just love good Colombian movies and novelas, soap operas. They're so good. They're so intense. Definitely
acting.
Yeah, there's Fernando. ¿Dónde está Fernando?
¿Dónde está Fernando?
It's like that all the time. So I do love that. I love juicy gossip in these novelas. They're great. But I do love old classics. I've been going back because, we have all these subscriptions now. So the Jeffersons.
Oh,
the Jeffersons.
That's a great show.
How can you not love the Jeffersons?
So fun. So fun.
Man,
it's such a fun show.
I can't get enough of it. I just can't. The Golden Girls, I mean, Grandma, she's hilarious. That's me when I get old. I'm telling you, that's me. That's right there. Snappy, sassy, always something in my mouth. Always.
I got to tell you, Hallmark, there's certain networks that like, if I'm working on the computer, I just have the TV on for background noise. Golden Girls reruns, they go boom, 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 boom. Like them, and then Frasier. It's like all these shows back to back.
Frasier is hysterical.
Right?
Frasier is great.
And I just want to say this too while we're on Golden Girls. I watched Golden Girls during my formative years. And I knew they were saucy, spicy, but in retrospect, those man, they were talking some saucy, spicy convo.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it now, being like, oh, okay, sure. Like things like going there. So yeah, I gotta roll with the Golden Girls. I'll keep like the
They're
classic
so good.
comedies going on in the background if I'm working or whatever. And like Dana, I do particularly, as far as reality shows, I don't only watch them. It's just there are two in particular, again, and I realize that it's based on people's relationships, and not necessarily for the male female, the partner relationship here, but just human natures. Mm-hmm. And how we communicate. And I find myself watching, I was like, well, why don't you just do this? And I realized there are a lot of self-checks that are like, well, if you just did like this and communicated like this, because I'm all about communication is key. So I like shows like 90 Day Fiance for the fact that the concept behind that show is you have the 90-day K1 spouse visa, and the people have like connected with each other. And so they have 90 days together in order to get married, or else the visa expires. So I find and I enjoy that show, not just for the interdynamics of interpersonal skills, communication, and relate. Because in my other life, in my other world, I'm actually like a licensed, not in real life, but in my mind, I really find myself. If I had to choose like another career,
a licensed what? A licensed what?
A licensed communication specialist, a relationship therapist,
like
someone who
therapist,
help facilitate. Even like, facilitating
marriage counseling,
sexual relationships, all that kind of stuff. I'm like really there with that, right?
Yeah,
but on top of that, it's the cultural element. So I watch, and if it's a Brazilian, or if it's someone from Moldova, or if it's someone from different areas, I like the language, I like the culture, I like learning about traditions and customs. So for me, I find how they integrate that into the American spouse, whether it's here or the American spouse goes overseas and tries to live. I find that very interesting to see. Is it the ugly American that shows up? It's like, well, how come you don't have this? And or is it the love overcomes all? So that Married at First Sight are my faves, as far as if I am going to join the Twitter sphere and kind of go in on people. Yeah. But that's it. I don't really watch a lot of TV. I just found those two to be particularly interesting, because the element of what can you glean relationship wise, what can you glean interpersonal skills, and how we communicate. But
and I'm the same way when it has to do with food stuff, because like I had for Christmas, my husband got my Echo screen in my kitchen. So you guys know I live in the kitchen. I am a chef. During the day, I do many dishes here, and I deliver all day as well. So I'd be like, call her name and be like, put YouTube on. And I just love learning other cultures and other places. When before I was able to like travel more than now, I was with my husband. I'd be like, I saw a vlogger and they went here and here and here in Paris. I want to go there. And we will go and test their food. And I'll be like, yes, nay, or no, whatever, but I love learning other cultures, and I do like a lot. It doesn't matter if they speak another language. I just love learning how they say it, how they pronounce it, and what are they doing. And I'm still a hands-on person, so I enjoy that. But I definitely can say that, yes, I love when a person actually speaking in their own language and trying to communicate with you and saying things and doing whatever they do, and either it's garden or house doing, or or in the kitchen. Definitely, I'm 88% of the time on that in the kitchen while I'm cooking, because I'm like so busy, I can't hear what's going on. So definitely.
Well, we definitely, I feel like with all the TV that we've either been watching a little bit more of, that we need to kind of balance that out a little bit, and with the positive words of inspiration and kind of just a little something going on here to kind of make sure we keep that balanced in life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alika, you're nodding.
Well, I had a quote, and then the quote was, and then I had to change it, because the quote was actually the theme song of the Jeffersons. And then what happens in this show? Nobody knew the quote, and I actually printed it off. And the woman who wrote it, her name is Jeanette Dubois.
Oh, I love her.
No, but then I was going to speak it, but then I was like, you know what? They already talked about it. And so I just came up with something. And
that is hilarious.
We're going to see what happens. This is called improv. So I'm going to take a famous Shakespeare quote, and I'm going to change it for our show. Are you ready? Because I'm literally making this up. Okay.
Okay. This is what we do here. This is all about off the cuff.
Let's do this.
This is your inspirational Shakespeare quote for Mama Media TV. TV or not TV? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to watch Netflix and Amazon or to log on to YouTube and watch Mama Media TV. You know the answer. Subscribe.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Genius.
I love it.
I just made that up, y'all. So
Take a deep bow. Take a deep bow.
thank you. Thank you. Okay.
We are a
There
mess.
we are.
We are a mess. But listen,
Stop the background again.
Alika said it. Alika said it in her own special way.
In her own special way.
In her own
Nobler
artistic.
to watch Mama Media TV. Shakespeare said so.
That's it. That's it.
Shakespeare.
That's it.
He loved it.
And we have a couple people who are indeed doing that because they heard what you said before you said it, and they've already subscribed. So we're going to give our stubby shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Today's stubby shout out, this episode is to Devin Lee. Thank you for watching. And Devin, yay! Thank you so much, sis. And Louis G. Perez. Thank you so much for watching as well. And yeah, like she said, hey, join the fun, subscribe.
Hit that button.
Hit the button.
Oh, no.
Hit the bell icon.
That thing.
That one right there.
And leave a comment, you know, like it, share it, subscribe, find us on Facebook, Instagram, we're all over the place, Media Mama TV. And until next time, make sure you come on back and join us for more info, inspo, and convo.
Convo.
Convo, because clearly that's what we do here. We do.
That's what we do.
And you know, I'd like to say, you never know where the convo is going to go.
No, we don't. Okay.
You don't.
Listen, for the record, hey, listen very clearly. We're saying this for the first time ever in real life, like forever. We don't know what we're going to say until the words start coming out of our mouths. Okay?
True that.
So I'm just saying, this is
True
like
that.
straight improv. We're just rolling with it, okay?
Yep.
And we thank
That's
you for
how
rolling with
real
us.
we are here. That's how
Right.
real we are here. It's everything
No
is
rehearsal.
at the instant.
And we don't cut, okay? So we just keep it rolling.
Nope.
So thank
Just keep
you
on
for
going.
joining us. And come back next time for more Media Mama TV. Have a positive, peaceful, and a productive day.
Ciao.